the experience of great film leaves me feeling more alive and connected, and reminds me that we're all made up of the same stuff. And it's so cool to be around a bunch of people who I think show up for the same reasons. Or maybe you're just here to escape the weather, I don't know. But I just want to say thank you so much for being such a welcoming place to welcome our film to the world. It really means a lot. I want to introduce some people and say some thanks. And at the top of that list is James L. Brooks. Jim's films are the films that made me want to be a filmmaker. So it never ceases to be surreal for me to stand next to him and to get to work with him. He's not only staggeringly brilliant and funny, but nobody in this world cares more or works harder, and I'm so thankful that I got to go through this process and learn from you every day and go nuts with you over trying to make a film that says something and that's honest. Give you the floor.
Important things first, go Blue Jays. You might have heard stories about things being a little tough in Hollywood right now, about, sequels, tentpoles, and so coming here from Hollywood and seeing these movies, soul food, and nobody could believe I've never been here before. I couldn't believe it. But I've got to tell you, it was medicine for me, just being here and seeing these movies. This girl who just introduced this and who I worked with for 4 years and had a baby during it, and that baby is 3 years old, and she never stopped working, and she never stopped growing, and I think, I just actually think she's an important new voice, and I hope you agree after this. I want to, you can't do this unless somebody backs you. You just can't get to first base. I always believed we'd get it made, but you can never be sure these days. So there's a relatively new outfit, STX, that actually broke their business model because they weren't made for small films like ours to support us, which they did over. So it's Adam Vogelson, Orna Mead, and Kathy Schulman. I want to thank them. And they deserve it. And we have a little company, Gracie Films, and it's so little that you're going to meet most of them in a minute. I'd like to bring out my fellow producers and people who've been with me for decades at Gracie Films, so they don't look it. I want to bring out my fellow producers, Richard Sakai and Julianne Sell, and co-producer Amy Brooks. And now Kelly will introduce this great cast.
First, I just want to say a few words about these people. These are the folks who threw themselves into the fire every day to protect this film from crises. And if you know anything about filmmaking, it basically consists of averting crises and stress eating little bags of Doritos just on a constant loop. Or at least that was my experience. But thank you so much, because so much of why this film worked was because of them and all the behind-the-scenes things they did. And now I want to bring out the people who are really at the heart of this film, our incomparable cast. First, Hailee Richardson. Such an incredibly nuanced and present actress. and I'm so lucky to have her. Next, Blake Jenner. I love Blake because he dives into every scene with his whole heart, and he's such a wise actor, and it's so not fair he also looks like that. And next, Hayden Zito. You don't know Hayden yet, but after tonight, I'm pretty certain you will not forget. And next, I want to introduce one of the wisest, funniest, straight up coolest human beings I know, and somebody that I still can't believe I was lucky enough to get his collaboration, Woody Harrelson. And finally, the real beating heart of this film, an actress that just cracks me up one minute and then shatters me the next and does it all seamlessly, Hailee Steinfeld. Thank you so much to all of you. I'm so grateful to have gone on this ride with you and so inspired by each of you.